Hey guys, Wolfie here with a video for the City of Final Fantasy Opera Omnia Global for the 23rd of April 2020. I do want to point something out right now. You might be hearing something in the background. I am refilling my water pitcher on purpose, so that's that on that. Second, I am late to the Exdeath info party, but that is because I do have a change in my work schedule, so when it comes to events that go live during the week, I will no longer be able to give information on that when it goes live, but it does give me an advantage of sorts to collect my thoughts nevertheless. Any opinion in this video is mine and mine alone, so please bear with me on this one. And when it comes down to some stuff about Exdeath, a few things. First and foremost, the global debut does not feature any reworks. It only has a couple of EX weapon realizations. And Exdeath does not have this lost chapter on JP due to a delay on JP's end related to the current and ongoing pandemic. So we're just going to jump straight into important information involved surrounding the event, if you will. So we're going to go into an issue that has been confirmed. It is regarding to one of Exdeath's debuffs called Curse. I'll get into information on that a little bit later, so this is a little bit of a FYI or heads up, however you want to put it. So that is that on that. And we're going to go now into the 7-day gem sale. So for personal reasons, I will not be getting any of the gem sales here. Like I said, I won't elaborate, but it is for personal reasons. That does not mean, however, I'll be going free to play. So with that out of the way, we're going to get into information on the event itself. It is called Tree for the Void. Now, the way you get Exdeath into your roster is watching the cutscene. The hero is always late, and that kind of gives you a hint on who's going to be a synergy for the event. Now, with Exdeath himself, he is of the Great Sword Weapon class. His crystal color is blue. Now, the information on him is as follows. A warlock born from the evil souls dwelling inside a single tree. He was sealed by the power of the crystals, but once that seal began to weaken, he shattered the crystals and released himself from their prison. Afterward, he saw power of the void and thwarted Bart's and company many times on their journey, which is 100% true, by the way. So we're going to go into the command ability details, skill 1, skill 2, and additional ability. We're going to go over Exdeath, EX weapons in the banner later on. So skill 1 here is Black Hole. The base use count is 9. Along the way, you'll get the extra use, so the final count for now will be 10. Reduces target's bravery based on the attack stat. Increases his own bravery based on the same stat, the attack stat. Unleashes HP attack. This does not inflict break. I will be saying something about this later on when I get to the opinions side of the video. Inflicts 1 level of Budded Darkness on target for 3 turns, limit 3 levels. This grants him Incarnation of Ill Intent for 4 turns, and this is only on himself. The level 55 crystal passive extension is a moderate increase reduction based on the attack stat and the bravery he gives to himself based on the attack stat as well. Increased bravery may exceed max up to 120%. This deals splash damage, meaning that the intended target gets everything, the non-targets get 50%. Increased duration of Budded Darkness goes up to 6 turns from 3. Increased duration of Incarnation of Ill Intent goes up to 8 turns from 4. This is when Incarnation of Ill Intent is active. He gets the Brave Attack and HP Attack plus variance. That's that on that. And I do want to point out that he wields a great sword, but deals magic damage. So with HP attack plus, like Black Hole, this does not inflict break. FYI. Now you have here skill 2, aka Almagest, reduces target's bravery based on his own attack. This is all targets, not just one. Increases his own bravery based on attack. Unleashes a group HP attack. This is proportionate HP damage to each target, so it's split. This does not inflict break. And inflicts curse on all targets for 3 turns. And again, this is a base use count of 3. So, with the Crystal Passive level 60 extension, he gets 1 more use. And he has an increased bravery may exceed max up to 180%. Increased duration of curse going up to 5 turns from 3. Now he has an additional ability called Attack Boost Up, which is a base use count of 1. Raises own max bravery and attack for 2 turns. The level 70 Crystal Passive extension. Slightly increased own max brave boost. Marginally increased own attack boost. So basically what we have here on Exdeath thus far is that he's one of those characters who should be having a very high attack stat to make the most out of his abilities. And what I particularly like about him thus far is that he is AoE. He's fixed damage. And granted, he does not inflict break. I do like the fact it has a perfect setup of sorts. So, with the buff debuff descriptions, Bud of Darkness, which is an inflamed debuff, affects certain amount of brave damage, grants to caster, kind of like a sap. Incarnation of Ill Intent, raises max bravery and attack. This is the inflamed buff Curse. This is where there was an incorrect description, but this is it right here. Lowers attack, defense, and speed, affects certain amount of HP damage, will not reduce HP damage below 1, so you cannot KO the enemy. However, it does have a perfect setup of sorts, in my personal opinion. So this is the 15 CP weapon, Guido's Whisker, which is from part 5. You get 2 copies of his 35 CP armor, his helmets, which is from parts 3 and 4. This is his synergy right here. Exdeath, Gilgamesh, and Warrior Light. Fran comes along as Lost Chapter synergy. So we have here Dweller, that's the name of the enemy. And this is I believe an Astaroth type enemy. So it's immune to blind, poison, and sap. So if you want to use Lily, Set, or Ferris, you want to keep them both on the bench because they have those 2 abilities. So yeah. So this is it right here, the hints on how to go about this. So I think the trick here, the reason why Exdeath and Gilgamesh are here is because they deal fixed damage. And there are cases where I feel fixed damage is better than trying to break, you know? So the token exchange is standard operating procedures. I will point out though, with the stamina points potions, and depending on where your in-game rank is, if you have about more than 1,000 stamina points potions at this point, I don't think it's a good idea to go after the stamina points potions, because honestly, when you do the rank ups nowadays on global, you do get a stamina points potion, so I don't think it's worthy to use the tokens on the potions. And the only exception to that, again, is if your rank is low, and B, you somehow run out. But when it comes down to priorities, it's basically the armor, tokens, gems, tickets, and the Dissidia points. The high crystals and the high shards, it really depends on where you are, so that's that on that. Now we're going to get into the 90 CP armor for Exdeath. This is the armor, quote unquote. This is gives him the ability Guardian. It raises initial bravery by 110, defense by 84. But again, this is 90 CP armor. So in order to obtain anyone's 90 CP armor, you need to get the passive from the 35 CP armor first. This is Exdeath's Blue Stone. Bloomstone, excuse me, which is called Attack Boost Up Growth. We has one more use, an attack boost of effect duration plus 2 turns. Now we're going to go into the banner itself. This has Warrior of Light's 15 and 35 CP weapons, alongside the 15, 35 EX weapons for Gilgamesh and Exdeath. Again, we're going to just do a quick look into Exdeath's EX ability, which is called Grand Cross. And the thing is, with Grand Cross, this is AoE. It deals total amount of HP damage to each target. Like Skill 1, Skill 2, this does not inflict break. So this is 1 out of 3, 2 out of 3, 3 out of 3. Pre-realization. And now I do want to point out here that pre-realization, there is a new debuff coming along called Power of the Void, which HP attacks deplete bravery without dealing HP damage, reduces bravery to 0 upon expiration if not afflicted with break. So this is kind of like a Kafka move where it's clutch and saves you from certain situations. Now, post-realization, it gives the following information. And now I do want to point out here that post-realization and your 2 out of 3, Exdeath gets another Afraid buff called Arboreal Mysteries, restores a certain amount of HP and bravery, so he has a bit of a lightning-esque deal here where restores amount of HP after using the EX ability, although in Lightning's case, she gets it prior to the realization, except he gets it post. And this is 3 out of 3 right here. And Exdeath has, in my opinion, an excellent sphere called Debuff Attack Up. While enemy is debuffed, raises attack by 10%. I absolutely love this one. The reason why is that you only need a debuff, and another thing is that there's no duration limit. This is one of those spheres I absolutely enjoy. Now this is the 35 CP weapon for Exdeath. It's called the Morph Branch, but that's not relevant. We're going to go into the realization information for Gilgamesh's EX weapon. This is 0 out of 3. And this is where Gilgamesh recovers a use of Mad Dance. And we have here the post-realization and 3 out of 3. Gilgamesh finally has a way to deal some format of AoE damage. And this one right here, it says this is the sphere for Gilgamesh. This is break attack boost shorter, raises max bravery and attack by 10% for 3 turns when inflicting break. Not bad. I kind of like this one. I mean, the only issue I have, quote unquote, is that it doesn't last a long time. So then this also does not stack with the same sphere. Now, when it comes to the banner itself, I do not know if I'm going to be pulling on it. I might, because I do have gems to spare. But everybody's talking about meta this, meta that. And there's something I do have to keep in mind. But at the same time, I want to play this for fun at my own pace. So this one is going to be a question mark. I do want to wait a few days before whether or not I'm going to be pulling on it or not. The real prize, in my opinion, is Exdeath. I do feel that Exdeath is going to be a unit where people are going to be sleepy on him. Because granted, he cannot inflict break, but at the same time, it's fixed. It comes through in clutch situations. And overall, he's just one of those people where it's like, he provides certain things that no one else does. I mean, granted, you have Sephiroth, he has the same deal where he cannot inflict break, but that's actually in his EX ability. Whereas with Gilgamesh, I still feel like he's a bit of a troll. Now, Warrior Light, this is kind of where, he kind of starts to fall off the radar. But, for some reason, he always comes back. So, for a final conclusion, the thing is with Exdeath, in my opinion, is that he's one of those units that people will sleep on. There are other units who pretty much are the same way, one of them being Maria. They sleep, these units are the ones where people sleep on them, and when you realize what they can do, it's like, huh? Why do we ignore them? I'm like, yeah, people, and the reason why people are like that, it's like, oh yeah, people are saying don't pull on it. That sort of thing. So, I do feel Exdeath is one of those units that people will be sleeping on. Now, he has some Kefka-like moves. He also has lightning-like stuff with the EX. So, I mean, right now, I'm going to be skipping. However, I might be pulling closer to the end of the banner. And I do want to point out, like I said, there is no lost chapter for Exdeath right now on JP because of the delay. And the delay being in relation to the ongoing pandemic that's happening globally. However, he is one of those, he is a bit of a skip of 1-1 because everybody's talking about meta this, meta that. But I do feel, to be fair, he is going to be one of those units that people will be sleeping on. And he's going to be one of those who will eventually get his BT and L as well as his LD, so I think, yeah. So with that out of the way, I'll be signing off and I will catch you all on the flip side.